Hi, everybody. This is John Florian, the founder and publisher of VoiceOver Extra, which is producing the giant VoiceOver Virtual Online Conference slated for September 18 to 20, 2013. And I thank you so much for being a part of VoiceOver Virtual with your valuable educational presentation, because you're a part of a truly groundbreaking, or should I say cloud-breaking event for the voiceover industry. And also thanks for being with us now for this special presentation by our production director, Dan Leonard, on production specs and how-to advice for your VoiceOver Virtual presentation. If you're with us live now, you'll be able to ask Dan questions at the end of this training. Simply raise your virtual hand if you see the icon and on your control panel, the virtual hand one, and I'll unmute you to speak. Or type in a question which I will read to Dan. And now, the one, the only home studio master and VoiceOver Virtual production manager, production director, Dan Leonard.
All right, thank you, John. Why so formal? We're all friends here. We're all in the voice.
Yeah, unbutton the shirt, tie a collar, and everything. Okay.
All right. Anyway, welcome everybody. What I'm going to try and do tonight is, in this webinar, I'm going to show you what we would hope you might be able to not replicate, but at least give you the essence of what it takes to do a presentation like this and what it should look like. It's got to be visually stimulating. It's can't just be, words and, on a page and you talking. So we want to make it a little bit different. So tonight what we're going to do is we're going to look how to use simple presentation software like PowerPoint, which is both PC and Mac. The Mac one is the one in the middle. That's the logo for that. And Keynote. If you have a Mac, Keynote is available. It's not expensive. It's like, $19 or something like that. Keynote is what I use. It's fabulous. It really gives you lots of options of how to, how to create a nice visual presentation. Then we're going to show you how to capture your presentation as a video. So what essentially you're going to do is you're going to create a PowerPoint. You're not going to present the PowerPoint at the webinar. What you're going to do is you're going to present the PowerPoint to yourself, and you're going to talk into a microphone while you're showing this to yourself. So you're looking right at the screen, you know what's going on, and then you'll capture it as a video using very, very simple software. And that way we will have a video of you doing your PowerPoint presentation. And you can also do a couple of other things, those of you who are a little bit more technically inclined to try something along those lines. And the way you do that is with a couple of pieces of software. Actually, there's a bunch of them, both Mac and PC. One I like to use is called ScreenFlow. If you've got QuickTime Player on your Mac, it makes it super duper simple. And how to add video to your presentations. So you can present a video. If you're trying to demonstrate something physical, you can do that. If you just want your face on there explaining something, you can do that as well. And that's really, really not as hard as it might seem. So yes, you're going to have to do video. And most of you are now going, so don't be intimidated and don't panic. This is not as hard as it seems. As a matter of fact, it's not rocket science. I think there's a lot of people who are intimidated by, technology. Don't be intimidated by it. It's just your computer. If you know how to type, you can probably do this. If you've used Microsoft Word or a spreadsheet or something along those lines, it's really not that much harder than that. It's just a matter of, manipulating files. Or in other words, I'm sure you've all seen a problem like this. And you're all looking at this going, oh, crap, I forgot how to do this. How do you find X? Well, it's right here. Don't look around the corners and look for all sorts of complicated stuff here. It's all very, very straightforward. Don't try to look outside the box. You can look outside the box to be creative with this sort of thing, but you don't really have to be. Don't have to look way far to figure out how to do this stuff. All right. And if all else fails, ask your kids because they know how to do all this stuff. Now I hear laughing out there, but it's virtual laughing. It's not actual laughing. Okay. All right, let's look at a couple of pieces of presentation software. We're going to look at, of course, PowerPoint. Now, PowerPoint I have been using since, the mid 90s, since the time of Windows like 95. I used to teach high school, and my handwriting really sucks. So, I'd be writing stuff on the board, and Mr. Leonard, we can't read your handwriting. So I started to use PowerPoint, and I learned that it makes a great tool that allows you to make a presentation without using note cards. Because if you have the slide up there, knowing what's there, and you can see, you can basically read the slide and then just talk off the cuff, knowing what you know about your subject. Also, there's Keynote, which we talked about, which is only on a Mac, which will also work on an iPad. We can discuss iPad stuff, but let's try to keep it to your laptop or a desktop computer to make it a little bit easier. You can do presentations with an iPad. I'm actually working with a company this week that's teaching how to use some software for a medical company, for a pharmaceutical company, and we're doing the presentations using an iPad. But it's not easy. You have to have the right equipment for it. So don't worry about that. But Keynote works on a Mac if you are Mac people. And I like Keynote better than PowerPoint, although PowerPoint has a few more interesting options. And if all else fails, you can always use Microsoft Word or any of your WordPerfect. They still have WordPerfect? I hardly do any word processing anymore. Or Pages, which is the Mac equivalent to that. And just type out the words really big, and arrange them that way. And because you can change the color of your fonts in Word, and you can change the size of them and all that kind of stuff. So let's go into how you do this kind of stuff in Word, or we'll use Keynote right here. So if I'm in Keynote, and how do you do it? Well, first you click File, New, and it gives you first options of all sorts of backgrounds that you can use. These are called themes, and they work the same in both PowerPoint and with Keynote. And depending, you can look at these, think about the mood of what it is you're going to talk about. You don't have to use the pictures that are in here. You can put your own pictures in. These are just templates. So, for example, I like to use this one, which is called what's the name of that theme? The theme is whatever it is. But it's real easy to use this because it just says double click to edit. So you double click on here and you go, okay, voiceover virtual, in presentation. Did I spell that right? Everybody complains about my spelling, And then you just click on the box below that. That's PowerPoint and Keynote, and you just type stuff on here, and then once you've got it in there, you can play with these boxes, and you can move them around anywhere you want to go. Now, did my mouse just die on me? Come back. There it is. Okay. I may have to change mouse batteries in the middle of this. Anyway, so you can put this anywhere you want to create the type of visual presentation you want. And you can change the font sizes. So if I highlight this, this mouse is dying. Hold on a second. I got to get some other batteries. Okay.
Well, this is John. While Dan changes his batteries, we can all use a battery recharge at some point during the day.
All right. Let's see here. You can actually hear me changing batteries. Let's see if it makes a difference.
All right. Dan, not to flummox you, but we got quite a group of people here watching this battery change.
Oh, cool. Yeah, the video is even more exciting.
Thank you all for being with us, by the way.
Okay. Let's see. There we go. Fabulous. All right. So you can change the font size here. So if you highlight something like that, you just like you do in Word or Pages or whatever, you just pick a larger font size. So let's say you make it 96. You can make it bigger. You can bold it. Where did it all go? Well, it's still there. There. You can bold it. You can change its color. So it's right here. It's all the menus are along here. And what you have to do is learn how to play with it. And I'm sure some of you are probably familiar with it. So let's go with, say, a light blue on that, and then make this a lot bigger. Okay. So, and then if you create that slide, there it is. Pretty simple. So don't be intimidated by that. Now, how do you use this in a more creative way? Well, they give you lots of great tools to use. Okay, so let's look at some of this stuff. First off, you can animate stuff. There are some presets in here that you can use. Use them. And it allows you to have things come in, and it allows things to go out in a creative way. And you can also use pictures. Pictures are fabulous because you can do all sorts of things. You can you can emphasize a point. You can be funny. You can, it's a really great way to redirect people's attention. So if you're trying to discuss something, you use a picture like this, it gets people's attention. If it's like, okay, when you're talking to somebody, you don't talk to them right next to their ear, and you use a slide like that or something like that. What I like to do is, depending on the concept I'm trying to come across or the metaphor I'm using, I just go on the internet and I type, someone yelling in somebody's ear. And you click on in Google and you click on images, and all sorts of pictures come up. And you can literally drag those pictures from where they are in the internet and just drag them onto your screen. And I'll show you how I did that. But you can also use, weird pictures and stuff like that to make your point, like this one. What does this have to do with what we're talking about? Really nothing, except that it's just a really odd picture. And you might find some picture that relates to what you're talking about, and it totally enhances your presentation. At least this is how I do this kind of stuff. So going back to the presentation we had before, so how do you animate this stuff? The animations in Keynote, it's a little different in Keynote and in PowerPoint, but it's all menu driven. In Keynote, there's a thing called the inspector. Hello, inspector. And there's a bunch of different things you can do there. It shows you how to set up as a slideshow so it runs by itself. Transitions of the slide from slide to slide. The animation thing is here, and it allows you to do all sorts of cool things with this. And you'll see in this window, if you can see this window, you should be able to. There's build in and build out. So build in allows you to make things happen from nowhere. So the effect, say, like the anvil effect that I just did, it allows that to come in like that. Or just appear. Boop. Or blast. Like that. Or bouncy. And you can change the direction it comes from, left to right or right to left. And then there's some other cool ones like Comet. And I'll show you what Comet looks like is. Whoosh. See how that enhances a presentation? Instead of just my dull voice coming across, you can animate what you're saying. And then say if you want to put this here, well, let's try something else. Well, here's one of my favorites, flaming. So we get VOV Presentation, how to. It's amazing. I couldn't do this stuff 10 years ago, and now it's like just really, really simple. Okay, so we have that. So that's how you animate stuff, and that's how you make things happen. And then once you animate them, you can actually remove them off of the screen with this thing called build out, and I can have it bounce back out. Okay, we're out of here. And this one I can have. This is one I used. If any of you were at Voice 2012, I used this one. This is one of my favorites because you can click this and here, watch how I do this. So you get the comet, you get the flames, and it's like, okay, we're out of this. Okay, all right, we're out of here, guys. All right, we're out of there. And then you walk up to the screen and you go. That's how you get creative with this stuff. You have to play with it, and you're like, oh, wait, I could do this. Wait, I could do that. You'll wake up in the middle of the night and go, hey, how do I do this? And then you go ask your kid, and they'll say, here's how you do it, Dad, or Mom, or whatever. Okay, so let's make another slide. So that's, say, the opening slide. And then the second slide, you go to slide, new slide. It gives you a blank slide. And go topic number 1. And then down here, you'll see it gives you automatic bullets. How to use Keynote. And it also allows you to go back and fix that. And it will give you another bullet. How to use PowerPoint. And I don't know why I always double capitalize. It's this tiny little keyboard, I think. How to use ScreenFlow. Just as an example, and actually it's one word. And then, so then you go into, hopefully you can see this too. If you go into text, you can change, you can automatically shrink the text. A lot of this stuff is just like it is with Word. But with the bullets, you can change what the bullets are. You can make them stars. You can make them those guys, or you can come up with something else like image bullets, like this stuff, or that, nice 3D stuff, or here's one I used last night, or something along those lines. Bullets are effective because they grab people's attention, which is why they're called bullets, which will generally grab someone's attention. And then you go back over to animate. You're all taking notes, right? And with animate, with build in, say you want them all to move in from the left. So move in from left to right, delivery by bullet. And then say to animate this, and you get to decide what order you want them in. So say topic number 1, we want to build in with, say, convergence. All right. So to play this slide now, here's what it'll look like. Well, wait a second. I got to change the order. See, title goes first. You just take it, drag it to the top. And now, topic number 1, how to use Keynote. We'll talk about how to use Keynote. And we'll talk about how to use PowerPoint. And just by using a mouse click, you can move your bullet points in there. And you can change their size. And when I used to teach how to do this, what you do is you just click on the whole box, and you can make these a lot bigger. So make those 64. And now you can see that they're a lot easier to see. And this works great when you're doing a physical presentation at a conference or something like that too. Okay, how do you add pictures? Like I said, it's it's all drag and drop. Some computers, sometimes the operating systems don't let you do it quite the same way. But what you do here, so let's create a new slide here. Actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna find a picture. So let's take a weird topic here. I'll use another browser so I don't interfere with all this. Let's just go to choose Chrome here. Okay, so all you have to do in Google is to make a point about something. Installing batteries. Okay, so you click on that and have it search for installing batteries. And then in Google, there's this great thing called images, right? This will give you all the listings of all the articles about installing batteries and maybe videos on it and stuff. Right next to it is images. And there's all these images of people installing batteries. And then what I usually do is look for the weirdest one. Here's a guy in a trunk installing batteries. You go view the original image and you just drag it into your thing here. And you can, make it smaller. And then give it an animation. Have it build in from the back, say iris out. So now we have this. Topic number 1. Your bullets. And then a picture can just cover it up, or you can have the things move out and have that in. But now, you see how simple it is? I mean, yeah, I do this a lot, so yeah, I'm making it look easy. But it's simple drag and drop kind of stuff. All right? And that's how easy it is to use. It's type, drag, and drop, and then use animations to make it look a little bit more exciting. And you can also add shapes to your presentation, and you'll find those up here. Everything's menu driven. So say I wanted to give this guy a triangle hat. I just put it right there, and I can make it, bigger or smaller or whatever. Yeah, I could actually. It's amazing what you can do. I actually find this really great for creating logos and stuff like that, because there's lots of cool effects that you can put on here. And what you have to do is just go through and use the formatting stuff, and it'll show you how to do these sorts of things. And some of you may already be familiar with how to do a lot of this stuff. So that's Keynote. PowerPoint works very much the same way. The menus might be just a little bit different, but that's how I do that. And I try to find as many weird pictures as I can. My partner, George Whittam, who I think is sitting back there in the back of the room, has watched me do these for a long time. And John has watched me do these types of presentations. My voice is physically here, but I try to get my personality into what's going on the screen. So that's that. So let's go back to where we were here.
Dan, I can vouch that your personality comes through loud and clear, and I just admire you for revealing all your tricks tonight.
Oh, this is basic stuff. This is nothing.
Oh my gosh.
What I enjoy doing is taking software and moving it way beyond what whoever created it was thinking about. And I remember one quick little aside when I was teaching and I changed schools. I went from an urban school, a very rural school, to a somewhat urban school. And they're like, you have to go to training. I'm like, for what? Well, you have to take PowerPoint training. And I'm like, really? And I showed up there, and the librarian is trying to show us how to use PowerPoint. Dan, why don't you show? What are you thinking about doing? And I went through and I started doing this stuff. And she goes, oh, I guess you know how to use it. So I didn't stay in public education very long. Anyway, the next step. All right, so you create
through the 11th grade.
What's that?
Through the 11th grade.
Through the 11th, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Once you've created your PowerPoint and you're now presenting your PowerPoint, you set it up and you hit play and you start to talk about what's going on. And you're actually seeing me doing this. All you have to do is talk over your PowerPoint and do your discussion and use the pictures to enhance what you're saying. Now, how do you screen capture? One way is with QuickTime. If you're on a Mac, and I believe you can do it on a PC too, QuickTime Player is free, and I'll show you exactly how to use that in a second. There's also another great one. It's a program that's like $99, but George Whittam and I use this one a lot, called ScreenFlow, which allows you to capture the screen. And then it also is a video presentation editor, which is real simple drag and drop stuff. It's just very, very simple. Or you can use iMovie or anything very basic. You can use Adobe Premiere if you're really bold. Although I learned how to do all this in Adobe Premiere, so going to ScreenFlow and iMovie were they were actually sort of like drawing with crayons. It's real simple stuff if you understand a basic nonlinear editing type of thing. You can use ScreenFlow if you're on a PC. See, I used that little transition there. There's one called Cam Studio from NHC, I believe, programs, which isn't too expensive. And actually, you can do a trial of it. So just try it, and and then make your presentation. And you go, I really don't want this software. Or you're going to go, this is really great. But you'll be able to capture your presentation as you're doing it, and then. As long as you capture your presentation, save it as a movie file, you send it to us, and you're done. Unless we think that you might need to change a couple of things. But as long as you save as long as you just go through the presentation once and the way you want it, and you can make mistakes because you'll be human. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can see I make mistakes. I just go, well, we'll just do this one again. There's another piece of software, too, that apparently is very good that will work on PCs and Macs, called Debut. Now, how do I know this? I ran downstairs and I said, Jake, what's another good screen capture software? He goes, I use Debut. Oh, okay. Debut. That's the one from NCH. It's Debut. And it allows you to capture your screen and edit it, in the way you want. So how do you do that? Let me hear you. So how do you do that, Dan? Okay. QuickTime is the way I normally do this, although I have some other ways of doing it. And since we started using ScreenFlow, we've started using that too. Let's see here. QuickTime is usually in here. Oh, there it is right there. So you click on QuickTime and whatever. All right. So QuickTime, I bet you didn't know QuickTime can do this. But you go over to File. Oh, wait a second. This is the QuickTime player. See, I make mistakes. File, new player. Oh, here it is, right here. It's only in the Pro that they let you do this? Okay. New movie recording. Oh, okay. Not now. QuickTime Player 7 doesn't let you do it. So we're not going to use QuickTime Player 7. We're going to use ScreenFlow, just to give you an idea how easy it is. ScreenFlow is over here. Now, what does ScreenFlow do? Suddenly your picture shows up. It will record. This is a great thing to do for when you're doing your thing, is record video of yourself using a webcam. If you can see the picture. I don't know if you can see the picture or not. Can they see the picture, John?
Yes, I had to unmute myself.
You can see my video.
You're there wearing, what is on your T-shirt?
It's Zachal. It's Israeli Defense Forces. I wasn't expecting to be on video tonight.
Okay.
But I wear it proudly. Anyway, it will record from a Logitech camera or your webcam on your laptop. And it will also record from your screen. Now, I've got two screens. 'Cause one of my screens is in my studio back here, but this is my LD2480. This is my Westinghouse monitor here, and it will record everything that's on here. All right. So I've set that up. So it will record. Not only will it record me and me on webcam and the screen at the same time, it will also, as you can see, is recording my audio, which is coming from my built-in input, which is what I'm using here right now, which is why it sounds so good. And so, you line yourself up and you look into the camera and you go, okay, we're going to talk about this today. But first you hit record, and it'll now start recording the video of me, and it will start recording the video of the PowerPoint that we're doing. So you hit record. This is preparing to record in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yada, 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 yada. Okay. Let's go back to the presentation we were working on before, and you hit play, and you go, well, good evening. Forget the triangle in the middle. I'm Dan Leonard, and tonight we're going to talk about topic number 1. All right, so what does topic number 1 involve? Well, topic number 1 shows we're going to talk about how to use Keynote, and we're going to talk about how to use PowerPoint, and we're also going to talk about how to use ScreenFlow. All right, and you just go through your presentation like that, and you hit escape, and then you go up here and stop record, and you'll notice that it has both presentations here. So they're both saved as individual files in ScreenFlow over here. And so you can add video actions and stuff. But what you'll now see is the actual video, and I'll eliminate this one for the time being. Now you'll just see the screen recording. Actually, I have to keep forgetting to do this. Boom. We'll put this down here. So because my audio is in there too, so we can just keep this off to the side. And now I'll play this. And you go, well, good evening. Forget the triangle in the middle. I'm Dan Leonard, and tonight we're going to talk about topic number 1. All right, so what does topic number 1 involve? Well, topic number 1 shows we're going to talk about how to use Keynote, and we're going to talk about how to use PowerPoint, and we're also going to talk about how to use ScreenFlow. All right, and you just go through your presentation like that, and you hit escape, and then you go up here and stop. And that's ScreenFlow. Super duper easy. And then because it puts it right into the recording program, into the editing program. So and any time that you want to break out of it and just have your face on there, I mean, you take this is the screen of my face, and you just zoom it out like that. So anytime you want to have your face come back on, so we'll put this one up top here, and we'll put this here. Anything that's on top, the video will be the primary video. But say I want to cut this. Let's see, remember how to do this. Just T, boom. No, not that one. This one. T. Cut this, and then say cut it out a little bit more here, and then just delete that part. Watch what happens. All right, so what does topic number 1 involve? Well, topic number 1 shows we're going to talk about how to use Keynote, and we're going to talk about how to use PowerPoint, and we're also going to talk about and then I can take this again. And I mean, if you don't like being on camera, it's not a big deal, but this is one way that you can always come back on camera. I'm going to talk about how to use ScreenFlow. All right, and you just go through your presentation like that. Like I said, it's not rocket science. Now, I'm sure you'll have a couple of questions about this, but the idea with this particular software, and it is the same case with Adobe Premiere and a number of other different video editing programs like iMovie. iMovie is a little bit harder, but this is, if you're on a Mac, this is so easy. And when I do my tips of the week and I do the various videos I do, this is how I do it. So I can use this. I can create videos with this, and I can create presentations with it. So what I'm asking everybody to try and do here, at least challenge themselves a little bit, have your subject, create a PowerPoint around it, and you don't have to be on screen. You don't have to videotape yourself. But if you want to challenge yourself and you really want to, or if you want to demonstrate something physical, this is the way to do it. And you can actually create another video and import it into here. So you can use your iPhone. And well, let me show you here. Configure record. So there's my thing. You can use your iPhone I just shot video with my iPhone this afternoon. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to import it into here. So let's see. So media is over here, add media. And I know for a fact, my email is save. You're all going, what is he doing now? Just gathering some video that I have from this afternoon, just to show you how to put that back in there. Oh, great. Now I'm getting all sorts of mail. Okay. So here's the video here. I'll save that to my movie file. Save. Okay. So you can import video in here. And now I'm going to import from my movies. And now I'm importing that. And now I'm just importing the video. And you hit escape, and then you go up here and stop. And you can resize this too. This is really exciting footage of me cutting up Studio Suit in the warehouse, where, if you're familiar with Studio Suit at all.
Getting kind of hard to go through it now, huh?
Physically, I make this stuff with love. But this was all shot with an iPhone. So just to give an idea of how simple that is. Okay. So you need to learn how to video yourself. It's not hard. You set up a webcam and you aim it at yourself and you make sure you're well lighted. You can put yourself you can put yourself behind a podium and make it look like you're lecturing. You can use your imagination here. If you think you can do it, if you have an idea of, well, it'd be cool to present it like this, you can do it. And this gives you the creative flexibility to do this kind of stuff. And that's pretty much it. Now, I'll be open to questions right now. It's not hard. So, John, let's see what kind of questions people have so far. Although looking at it, it looks like everybody's just completely mesmerized.
There are a couple of people have been throwing a lot of questions at you, and I'll start off with Randy. And Randy, early on, she mentions there's no copyright issues with the Google images.
You're not doing this for money. Next question.
Okay.
Just to remind you, there's a story with this. I once saw the Dalai Lama speak. He was speaking at the University of Buffalo, and they tossed out cards into the audience, and they said, you can ask the Dalai Lama any questions you want. And the first question was, Mr. Dalai Lama, how do you create world peace? And he looks out at this huge throng and he goes, next question. Anyway. But no, it's copywriting is not a problem because you're not making money off of this. And I use copyrighted images all the time. I mean, if I was like charging a lot, if I was doing a webinar or something like that, and I was making money doing the webinar, I would be careful about it. But I've never been caught. So, and you're only going to be showing it's people will be watching this and they're not going to know. But you can also take your own pictures and put them in there. So if you're afraid of that sort of thing of being caught using copyrighted material, if you put it on YouTube, George Whittam and I will attest to this. They can. I used Carmina Burana in a commercial once, and they're like, "You can't use that." Like, how does it know that I was using copyrighted material? But with these webinars, it should not be a problem. But find stuff that's not. If you just drag stuff off the internet, that's there for the taking. I mean, like I showed you before. If you're just in the internet. Oh, not this one. I want to use the other browser. See how I caught myself there? I could have used the wrong browser and shut the whole thing down. Let's see. Superman. All right, we'll just type that in. Let's look at images of Superman. Well, there's going to be lots of images, but is there anything here going to be copyrighted? Well, if you want to find something weird with Superman that's not copyrighted, you just keep going through here. Oh, there you go. Not a copyrighted image. That answer your question, Randy?
Probably.
Okay.
George mentions that you can use istockphoto.com, and that's the letter I, stockphoto.com. That's a good source. Thank you, George. And Randy, I'm going to go on with a few more. She wonders, and Randy and John ask, so what do we save this finally as? Randy says a .mov file, and John wonders, is an MP4 file work?
You can save it as any type of file. You can save it as a QuickTime movie. You can save it as an MP4 in the software, in the video software. It's going to give you those options. So it's File, Save, and it's going to give you all these options. First, you want to save it where you're going to save it. Save and save. Oh, that's saving that. It's export. I'm sorry. You want to export, which is down here, and it will give you all sorts of options and where it's going to save it to. And so what I would suggest if you're using ScreenFlow, you can do it for Apple TV or iPad or Web High. It's going to create a very large file, but we're going to be putting them into a Dropbox, so I'll be able to get a hold of them. And if they're in the wrong format, I'll be able to look at it. I'll be able to throw it into a program, and I'll be able to change it to a format that we can use on our software, on our platform for doing this. And so there's all sorts of, and then there's there's customizations that you can do with this. You can do different types of video and all sorts of stuff. But basically, what you want to do is keep it to a high quality video, or as an MP4, and and all the video editing software will let you export it as that type of a file. And you just click export, and it'll go to where I ask it to go.
Very nice. Good questions, guys. And these final two from Randy, it's actually one. So she's talking about ScreenFlow. She says ScreenFlow is best on Mac, right? And then
it only works on
Mac. Pardon me?
You don't know. ScreenFlow is a Mac only program, but they all work.
Oh, okay. And then for the PC, Camtasia?
Camtasia is a little hard to use. You can use the one that Sony makes. Somebody remind me, which one? What's the video software that Sony has? Sony Vegas.
Vegas.
Very, very easy to use. I'm not getting as old as I thought. It was in the card catalog there somewhere. But all you have to do is type in, look for, free video editing software, and you can try stuff. There's got to be something like Audacity, which is free, shareware video editing software.
Somebody else mentions they've used AVS.
AVS, yeah, that's a nice one too. There's lots of them. There are tons of them. You can actually do this on an iPad, literally. But that's for those of you who are a little more competent with an iPad.
Okay. George has a bunch of observations, and I'll go down them. And George, if you want to chime in and speak to us. He's at the background here, but now I'm bringing him to the forefront. George says Google has a slideshow tools if you don't own Keynote or PowerPoint.
Yeah.
And something he says for free Google Drive. I'm not sure what he's saying there, but
Google Drive is a place where you can save files. It's their cloud program, and it's free. Google is setting us up for some big time thing. They're like, all right, now we're going to charge for this. They're going to have people, people will have like 2 terabytes of information, and then they'll go, okay, it's now $5 per megabyte. So.
Okay. George mentions Keynote can record your presentation with your voiceover and save it to QuickTime, which is built right in.
See, file.
And he mentions QuickTime.
Right
QuickTime. Here. Oh, okay. You're still on that one. Okay.
Yeah. So it's the same thing. So if you're, Keynote, I failed to mention that one, but yeah, you can export as a QuickTime, as a PowerPoint, as a PDF, as images, or to an iPod. So if you create that and put the narration in it too, which isn't quite as easy as just recording it as you're doing it. I just want to make sure this was as simple as possible. What else, George?
Okay, well, he's got another one. It says, QuickTime X comes with Macs and does the capture.
QuickTime X. Where is QuickTime X? Oh, that's the new one. Yeah. That's, and then there's a couple of them. The MPlayer X. And then you've got iMovie and a couple of other ones. But to do screen capture, we like ScreenFlow. It really works really, really well and goes directly into a video editor. And I was just trying to make sure that we were streamlining the process for people.
All righty. Thank you, George. And we have the last note here. Please, people, send in your questions, raise your hand, or type in a question. We have this last note right now from Denise Chamberlain, our event manager. Says, John, please reiterate the length. So that's about 30 minutes. I mean, we're not, you don't have to clock it right down the dot, but about 30 minutes or so is fine. And
if you
also,
keep talking for 30 minutes, you're not trying.
Okay, right. Any more comments on the length, Dan? Or
30 to 40 minutes. You can go as long as 45, but I have found in doing any presentation, you'll notice this one ran 40 minutes before we got to Q&A. And it's just the length of somebody's attention span. So be succinct. Brevity is important, and keep it relevant and keep it moving. And by having the slides, you finish a thought and go okay, and then just go to your next slide, and it'll help you along. But keep time on yourself, and practice it a few times and see how long it runs, and then slow it down if you're running 15 minutes.
We're going to put a title slide on these, and for instance, it's going to be a VoiceOver Virtual logo, a title slide with the presentation name and the presenter's picture and the title and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to have a virtual host introduce you and give a little bit of your bio. So you don't have to worry about that. You can just get right into your presentation after our title slide, and we'll put the title slide on. Am I saying that's correctly, Dan? Is that
that's
what you envision?
That's going to be simple. It's just plugging it in, and we'll fade you up to you or fade up to your presentation.
Okay. And Denise reminds me also that all of these presentations, 99% of them, are going to be available as soon as people enter the conference on September 18th. So it's going to be truly customizable. Originally, I planned we're going to have it scheduled, but we just want people to be able to come and go. If they've got a job to do or some family obligation, they can leave, they can come back and catch the recording. And in fact, they will be able to catch the recording right from then through November 30th. They can come back and access and get that. And they'll also be able to access your free meeting room. And your meeting room, we'll be discussing that more with you. It's simply like an online mini website. You just send us what you want to put on there. And we have 5 content items. You can put up there PDFs, download stuff. And from there also, people will be able to chat with you live by text or webcam. And that's another discussion.
Right.
But it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep. Next question.
Next question from Vanessa. Dan, this is all way too complicated for this PC user.
Nah.
Who do I hire at a reasonable fee to get this done?
My son will do it for you, and he's real cheap. I'm sure you can find somebody. Find a child, ask a high school, a media studies teacher or something. Say, this is what I need to do. Someone will be able to help you. Really, it's not that hard. As long as you have the presentation in mind, as long as you type out what you want, someone should be able to do that for you.
Vanessa says your son is hired. And also my webinar production manager, Becky Bridges, offers that she can do it too. So send me an email if you want her link. And people who are doing videos, Jim Allberger volunteers to help out with that too. From Farn, is there a deadline for when presenters should get these presentations to Dan?
Yes. What's that?
What's
that date, John?
What is that?
What's the date?
Well, I put in July 25, but that's the absolute. I mean, you don't want 50 at July 25th. So
Right.
if you can get going on these next week, that'd be all the better.
Right.
Does that work for you?
Yeah, that's fine. Well, I'll be gone the 25th until the 1st. But I'll be able to watch these and when I'm in California. But no, well, it'll be fine. The 25th is a good day.
Yeah, because here's the deal, folks. What we do is we go through them, quality control, and if there's a question we have, we're going to contact you about that. And then we have to get it to our technology provider for the conference, all in a big show by, say, August 15th. And then we go through a whole bunch of quality controls and all that kind of stuff with them. So the show, that aspect of the show is done. And so during the live show time, we're concerned more with the live interaction and the hangout rooms and presentation and the chat rooms and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Now, don't panic right now about, oh, how am I going to do this before July 25th? I started working on this particular presentation on Saturday night, and just added a couple of things here and there, and I was able to go for 40 minutes just talking, going over each individual slide. Each one of you has a unique thing to talk about, and I'm sure you can talk for 30 minutes and add something along these lines, or just videotape yourself looking into a camera and maybe demonstrating something physically with a recording technique, or, I mean, we've got all sorts of great subjects here. So just, create what your presentation is going to be on paper, and then just copy and paste it into your PowerPoint, and then just read over the PowerPoint. Or as George suggests, use QuickTime X, in which case everybody's eyes will be rolling to the back of their head.
Okay, no further questions right now, so I'm going to take this as a cue to ask Reynaldo Infante in the Dominican Republic to say hello to us.
Ronaldo.
In his deep baritone voice. Speak to us in Spanish, Reynaldo. Say something. Now, I'm catching him off guard. Maybe he's not set up to do that, but we did a couple webinars with him, and I just enjoyed it tremendously. He's a TV news anchor in Santo Domingo, by the way. And he's also a voiceover coach.
Stuff. I see questions here. I see question marks next to some people. People not wanting to ask their questions.
Monique, the only one visible
Martha
right
had a
now
question.
is okay. I just muted Reynaldo because I was hearing a echo. There's just Reynaldo says hi, Dan. I don't know. We can't get an audio hookup right now. But that's about it, folks. Any more questions? Dan's, I've emailed you Dan's information, how to contact him. So please do contact him. And
how do you contact me? Well, here's how you.
Yeah, why don't you put that up?
Yeah, I can put it right here. Let's see here. Text box. Just click text. Dan's voice at Verizon.net.
While he's doing that, Reynaldo says, I'm sorry I don't have my mic set up. Well, it's good to be texting with you, Reynaldo, and we look forward to your presentation.
Any more questions? All right. How many? Raise your hands. How many of you are totally freaked out right now? This is not rocket.
Oh my gosh, this board just lit up. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Hey, Randy's got her hand. Okay, Randy, you are unmuted.
Oh, I just raised my hand because this, I mean, I've done this stuff. I do this stuff for Edge all the time, but I haven't videotaped myself, and I'm wishing I had a Mac right now, frankly.
Well, you can do it on a PC. I just demonstrated on a Mac, but the concepts are all the same.
All right, I may have to borrow my husband's Mac. I could do that, right?
There you go.
He never uses it anyway.
That's right. He'll never know it's gone.
Honestly, what got me, where I actually put in not a question, but like, how the heck did you do that? Do that again, please, was I mean, I'm cool with PowerPoint. I use it all the time.
Right.
I'm not a big fan of animation, but yours were very cool, so maybe I'll do some, but
Play with it.
the recording yourself and that's where you lost me. So is this in the guide that you sent us? Is there any? I don't want to hire someone to do it. I want to know how to do it, but I just
Right.
That's where I went. That's where I went on overload.
Right. Well, in QuickTime, you can record using QuickTime. It just record screen, and it'll give you the option to also record your audio, and you just start
I have to
capturing.
play with it.
Yeah, it's real simple.
Yeah, I've got AVS and I throw videos together all the time, but I've never done so. That's what that screen capture thing. No, that's screen capture. That's not capturing me. How do I capture me and screen at the same time?
Well, you have a video camera, and you look into the video camera, and you record yourself on video camera, and then upload that to the computer after you've done it. It'll be synced up with what you did with the PowerPoint.
And then can I move around? Like I know when you guys are on eWabs, George is always making things smaller and making things bigger and moving them around, and I know that's probably Apple-based. But once I've recorded myself, can I control in the edit where that window goes of me on camera?
Yeah.
That's all in the edit then.
Yeah, it's all in the editing. And
Okay.
if you need help with that, we can assist you with that too.
All right, I think I have to put aside some time and play with it. That's how I learn most things.
You got plenty of time, and really the only way to learn all this stuff, I've given you the basics and I've showed you where the stuff is. You'll have a basic idea how to do it. If you have a question, give me a buzz and I'll walk you through it. But once you walk through it once, you're going to go, "Ow!"
I would like to do that. Okay.
It's kind of like reading if you have not driven a car before, and you're reading the manual for it, you kind of, but then you get behind the wheel, and there it is.
Oh yeah.
I know. I mean, that's how I've learned half the video stuff I've done. It's just getting on and playing. It's just it's a question of time and computer memory and all that stuff. So
this my wife is like, "What are you doing in there? It's 1:30." I'm working on a video.
I thought you meant now. It's like, what time where did you move to? Yeah, I know. It is totally energy consuming. I'll be like, 1 more minute, honey, and it'll be 2 a.m. I know. It's crazy.
Yeah, but if you love doing it.
All right, thank you. That at least gives a beginning, anyhow.
Right. See, but it's fun to do stuff like this where, like, well, how do you make a point? Well, there was one we did a couple, the last one we did, John, was, I can't remember, it was on fixing your audio. I remember I did the whole thing in a chalkboard.
Oh, yes. And very, very clever.
Yeah. And it was writing on the chalkboard, and I'm just going, okay, I'm just rubbing something on a desk, use your imagination.
But you know what? Okay. I am so conscious about things like, Dan, what's that noise in the background? He says, John, it's my chalkboard. Oh, yes, that's right. Oh, well. Randy, I don't see you at Starbucks anymore.
Oh, well, I've been busy. I'm doing a radio shift this week.
Oh, okay.
But I have my card. Well, tell me when you're going to be there. I'll show up.
Yeah, usually around 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I need a mental break by then.
That's a good idea. That'll get me out of the house and away from my computer.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Any questions from anybody else?
I see lots of great names here.
I'll get the recording to everybody.
Yeah. Betty, you don't have a question? Bev? Annie, come on. You're all...
Oh, Betty just raised her hand.
Okay.
Betty, you are unmuted.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi, Dan. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Of course, I have a recording studio, and I use Vegas all the time, and I also record in SoundForge. So I've recorded in Vegas before, but can I just record in SoundForge and insert the SoundForge files?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you're more advanced at this, and it's just moving a soundtrack into the video line, and then you just cut and paste to sync it all up.
Yeah, see, that's what I haven't. I have an audio studio. I haven't done cut and paste the audio into a video before.
Yeah. No, it's the same thing. It's just you're looking at two different mediums, and it's if it's just a matter of if I go back to the video program here.
And I have a PC.
Right. Well, they work the same way. You can if you have a piece of video, it's just moving it around like that.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing as it's audio recording and video recording. The way the programs work, they're all what we call nonlinear, and you're just moving on a timeline, and you can it's really not that hard. Play with it.
Just like audio.
What's that?
Just like audio.
It's the exact same thing. It's a timeline.
It's a timeline.
Right.
I see. So I do my PowerPoint, and I've got my PowerPoint done.
Mm-hmm.
And then I say what I want to say. The first thing people tell you is you have a great voice. That means nothing. Blah, 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 whatever I want to say. Right. Okay. And so then I insert that on the timeline underneath slide 1.
Right. Yeah, you can do it slide by slide if you want.
Yeah. Okay. I'll play around with it.
Okay. Moving all you people into the 21st century here.
Thank you, Betty. You know what? I'm getting goosebumps looking at this attendee list. We got so many of these top coaches and top professionals here all together tonight, and it's amazing. Many are lurking in the background. I guess they have no questions. But Denise asks this. At some point in the last conversation with Betty, she came in with, it looks like iMovie. It works in a similar way?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you know how to use iMovie, you can use iMovie to edit it, too. It just import the video file into iMovie, and you can record the narration underneath that, or you can, there's lots of possibilities. If you're familiar with using any video editing program, this is nothing. It's real simple to do. And it doesn't have to be real complicated. You're just using the editing program to put things in order and then convert it to the type of movie file we want.
Very good. I think we're going to wrap up with a comment from Randy. She says, let's have a party.
I like that idea. Let's have a rap party.
You know what? And VoiceOver Virtual on September 7th, Saturday, well, it's in Pacific time, so I don't know if night or afternoon, we got to decide, but it's going to be our open house party. Live streaming open house stuff. We're going to have navigation, VoiceOver Virtual. So that will be our virtual party. And I'm also thinking about, well, VoiceOver Virtual is Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, September 18 to 20. And I'm thinking for that Saturday having VoiceOver Virtual - The Hangover on Saturday afternoon, something like that, the virtual party. Well, we'll see how it's going on. We're going to have a lot of fun with this, folks. So thank you very much for being with us. And Dan, I love this inside look at your tricks. Now I see how you do stuff.
It's no trick.
For some of your stuff.
This is all basic stuff. And it's all fun. And it's just, like I'm telling you, your kids know how to do this stuff.
Okay. Beverly just said, great webinar. I'm sorry I missed the beginning. It'll be a challenge for me. You're up to it, Beverly. I know you are. And contact Dan if you have any questions. Well, thanks, everybody, for being with us. Good night. I'll send you the recording real soon. And contact us anytime with questions. And again, the deadline would be July 25 or before, if it's possible for you.
2013.
Well, thanks. Yeah, 2013. Well, thanks again, and good night.
Good night, everybody.